If you could back
No,
out. Oh, just a website. Is that all you did? Okay. Website.
and then view my site.
Gotcha.
Now,
Thank
you can also go to SMOTS, SMOTS dot member, I think it's, yeah, dot memberclicks.net forward, I'm sorry, just smots.memberclicks.net, and that'll take you to the front end of the site as well.
Okay. Okay. I think we were going to change that, remember, to Templar order or Templars, or I don't remember what we decided.
Yes. Oh, yes, 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 we were. And my control panel, I needed somebody to do that for me while I was in the office. We wanted to change it to Templar. I can't remember what Templar.
Let's ask Michael for sure when he gets on. I almost think it was just Templars, but let's ask him when he gets on.
That sounds perfect. Yeah, that sounds perfect. Okay, awesome. All right, so just to kind of reiterate what we're going to be learning today, I'm going to teach you how to build out additional menu items, so how to create new pages of content and then link that to the main menu, which will be right up here at the top. I'm also going to teach you how to change any of these areas of content, how to keep your footer updated, and then how to change these widgets over here on the right-hand side. Any questions before I get started?
Yeah. Okay. So this is this not? And forgive my ignorance here, but the MemberClicks site, the SMOTS.MemberClicks, is that actually integrated with our existing website at this point?
It's not. So to integrate it with your existing site, we're probably going to want to create some type of link that's an external link in MemberClicks that says something like back to Templar's homepage or something like that. And then on your existing site, you're going to want to take the MemberClicks link. So you're going to want something like a sign in or sign up or something like that button on your existing or current site, so that when they click it, it brings them to the MemberClicks and it allows them to log in and then see those member-specific resources.
Okay. Perfect.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Of course. So today we're just going to be working under our website tab. And I want to begin, we're going to be kind of working our way through these different tabs, but I want to first begin by looking at your media manager. So our media manager is kind of like an in-house file store. So somewhere that if you were going to save documents or images to your computer, anything that you want to link to in MemberClicks, it's a document or an image, you want to save in your media manager first, and then you can link to it as an internal link. So to kind of show you what I'm referring to, if I go into your media manager, okay, different folders over here for you. So you'll notice any images that we're using on your site, we've saved in your media folder. If you want to create a little bit of more organization, you can go into your documents folder. We've got some documents in here for you. You just select upload, and then you went, hey Michael, how's it going?
Hey there.
Hey Michael.
We just got started, so you're perfect timing. Right now we're talking about our media manager, which I said is like our in-house file store. It's just a place for you to store documents and images in the site to link up to these. We're doing our content training today to link them to articles, pages of content, or to bring in images to those articles. So I know that you guys in the very beginning had some documents you were worried about not fitting in here. Our file size is 25 megabytes. And none of your files that you sent me were too big, which we offer a lot of space. I wasn't thinking, I haven't had really an issue in the past unless it's a really large audio file. Those have given me some issues. But documents usually are not going to be too large. So like I was just saying, if you wanted to add an additional document, you could just select upload, choose the document that you wish to upload. So I could bring in our Go Live checklist. Whoops, it's a kickoff questionnaire. And so that's going to add the document in here. And if you didn't need it anymore, you could just always select X and it'll delete it out of the file.
Okay.
Same thing with images in your images folder. Now, we've got some Shutterstock images for you guys. You can always access those through the Shutterstock images folder that we created for you. The site, you always want to leave alone so that your website is pulling your logo from this area. And so that's why we really just want to leave this here as is. Don't want to do anything with the site folder. But for your slide you can save additional images in here. If you're ever wondering what size the images need to be, you can look at one of these existing images to determine the size. Any questions on this media manager? It's kind of easy to use.
Not so far.
Okay. The next item that I would like to look at are, the widgets. So your home page is comprised of widgets as well as a couple other places in your website. And the reason why we use widgets for certain pieces of the site is because it allows the site to be responsive. So what that means is, like, if somebody wanted to look at your website on a cell phone, your site being responsive still holds all of the functionality of the different pieces of the site. And so widgets make that possible.
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually going to be your homework for tonight. It's just going to be updating this home page. So this area here is what we call the home page main. So if I go back to the widgets, you'll see home page main. So to edit this content, you would want to select the home page main widget, and then you can edit this text right in here. Our editor works very much so like a Word document. It's very easy to work in. I'm going to go over some of the special things or unique things to MemberClick shortly. But for now, this is just showing you where you would update that homepage main text.
Okay.
We also have homepage left, which is this text here, and then homepage right, which is the text over here in the right-hand column. So to update either of these two pieces of information, once again, you're going to use your widgets homepage left and homepage right.
Okay.
To update your slider images, you're just going to do that in your slider images widget. So that affects the images that are scrolling across the top here.
Okay.
We would just select slider images. Now you'll notice there are no spaces between these. If you wanted to add a new slider image, first of all of these slider images always have to be the exact same dimensions. Secondly, you would just place your cursor right back to the last image in the slider images widget. So what I do is highlight the last image, and then I just press my right arrow key on my keyboard, and that puts the cursor literally right up against, it's hard to see here, but it's right up against that last image.
Mm-hmm.
To now add a new image, we're just going to select the image button at the bottom of the editor. We're going to use this a little bit later on as well. And then we're just going to select our images folder or Shutterstock or slideshow images folder, wherever you want to pull the image from. You'll click on the image that you want to bring in, and you'll select insert this image. And so this is a new image at this point. And you'll notice it's just right back to back with the previous image. Okay. Any questions on how I did that?
No.
Okay. The member landing page, my name is, when your members log into the website, they're going to be greeted with a member landing page. We're going to review this more in our social community training. But if I click member landing, my name is, this is basically what they're going to be greeted with. And you can update what information is being data merged in. This is just a very personable way of greeting your members. If you wanted to change what information is being data merged in, you could just delete out what you no longer want to be included. Once again, come to the bottom of your editor and select Merge Data. And you can choose a field that you want to merge in. So if we wanted to merge in organization, I can just choose organization and merge that in. So that's going to populate that information from their profile. Any questions on that?
No.
Well, but the image that's there, is there, I mean, it's just so long and empty and blank.
It won't be quite like this on the member landing page, and we'll take a look at it on the social community training, but we can change it behind the name tag if you want to use something else.
Okay.
Or we could get rid of it altogether, but we'll look at that a little bit more when we do our social community training, because it'll make a little bit more sense.
Okay, thanks.
The footer information is just your association's information at the bottom of the page. That's the info down here. Once again on the front end, that reflects right here. you needed to change that for any reason, you would do it in this area. To skip these two, we'll come back to them in just a second. Announcements is the announcements widget. So if you wanted to add an announcement, it's going to populate right under the announcements widget on the right-hand side.
Okay.
And then lastly, so your members are going to have a login page that looks something similar to this. Well, hold on. Something similar to this, where they're just going to put in their username and password.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can add content above the login section or below the login section. And so in the areas that you'll do that is the custom login page content lower half and top half. Typically I see these left alone. The only time I've seen this being used is if you want to put in above that login section, like not a member, become a member of, you know, the Templars through our membership application, and then you can link your membership application there. But I would say about 99% of the time I see that just kind of left alone.
Okay.
All right, and that's all of the widgets. Any questions on any of those or how they function?
No.
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, awesome. So that's a pretty easy one. All right, so then the next thing that we want to look at is how we're going to create new pages of content and then link those pages of content to your menu. So to do that, I'm going to select articles. So first, we want to create that page of content before we can link it up to the front end. So that's why we're going into this articles area first. Right now you have your member landing page and the home page. Now the home page isn't going to have any content in here because remember it's pulling from the modules because that's what allows the site to be responsive.
Okay.
So I would just leave this alone.
Okay.
The member landing page, same thing here. It's going to be pulling in that name tag that we just looked at. There is this content right down here at the bottom that you'll want to update, but once again, we can do this probably after our social community training or on our social community training together.
Okay.
To create a new menu item, you'll just use these icons up here in the top right-hand corner. The most commonly used icons is going to be the new, which is what we're about to use. A move to trash, so we can select an article we no longer need, we can move it to trash, and we can view our trash.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we accidentally deleted something or moved it to the trash, we can view our trash and we can actually restore it. So I'm going to go ahead and select new. And this brings us into our article builder. So the first thing you want to do is title your article. So I'm going to say members only. When we add in our title, an alias is going to auto-populate. So the alias is what creates the second part of the URL for this specific page of content. So what I mean by that is if we went to smots.memberclicks.net/members-only, it would bring us directly to whatever this page of content is of.
Okay.
Then when we get ready to actually build our text in this article, we've got a couple of different items that we can use up here. A lot of these are going to look really, really similar to what you've used in the past, I'm sure, and just any other type of editor or, like I said, a Word document. So I'm just going to point out the differences. Bolding, italicizing, and underlining, strike-throughs, all these alignments, these are all pretty custom. I mean, pretty normal. The font family allows you to change what font style you're using. The font size allows you to choose a specific font size, of course. You can change font color. You can change the highlighter color. But what I would really recommend doing is you've got this formatted drop down, and this has all of these pre-formatted fonts for you. I would really stick to using these for two reasons. One, just for consistency throughout the site. And two, if you guys ever go through like a rebranding or you just want to update the site, you can let us know what new colors you're wanting to have used on the site, and my designer will plug those in for us. And any way that you've used those pre-formatted fonts in the site, they're going to automatically update.
Okay.
So you're not going to have to go back and manually update all of the pages of your site. So it would save you a lot of time.
Okay.
The next item is a little bit different. So we talked a second ago about adding images to the slider or to the slideshow. It's the same thing here. Down at the bottom of the editor, I can select image. And this is going to bring up our kind of like a mini media manager. We can select the file or the folder that has the image we want to bring in. And then we just select that image and insert the image.
Okay.
Now in this instance, we may not like the size of the image. We may wish it was located in a different place. There's all kinds of things that we can customize about where the image is and the relationship between the image and the text. So we can highlight this image. And we're going to choose this little tiny tree icon. Do you guys see that? My mouse is over it.
Mm-hmm.
By clicking that little tree icon, we're going to use our Appearance tab to change the appearance of our image. So if you're not really sure, if you forget what all of these kind of items do in here, the cool thing is we've got an example over here in the right-hand corner that shows us exactly what we're doing. So the alignment allows us to determine how the text aligns with the image. So I can have the text align left as my favorite. That pushes the image to the left and it wraps the text from top to bottom of the image. The dimensions is just changing the size of the image. So if we wanted to make it larger or smaller, we could put in a pixel. This checkbox constrains proportions, which means that I don't have to put in 300 by a second size. The system, in order to keep the image's proportions, are going to automatically fill that second size in for us.
Mm-hmm.
Vertical and horizontal space is in reference to the space between the text and the image. So right now you'll notice there's no space cushion between the text and image. If I wanted to change that, I personally like to add 10, and that creates this really small kind of border around our image and text. Lastly, the border can just add a really simple black border to the image that you're using. So you'll see how that's populated in the example. Once this is done, we can update. And now you'll notice that our image has been pushed left. Our text wraps from the top and will continue on to the bottom of the image. We have that small border, and we have that space cushion between the text and the image. Any questions on how I did that?
No, it's just on that, that logo part of it's white, so it would need a colored background to show.
Exactly. So you guys will probably want to save some additional formats of your logo in the Media Manager for access throughout the site.
Okay.
All right. So really the only other thing that I wanted to point out to you guys is how to use our internal, or how to add internal and external links. So to add either type of link, we're just going to type out whatever text we want to link up. For the external link, I'm highlighting our text, coming to the top of the editor, and selecting the small link up here. This will allow us to pull in whatever external link we want to link into. I'm just going to use your home of the site, and then we'll just insert. And at this point, we've created an external link. For internal links, it's just a little bit different. The difference between an internal link and an external link is an internal link is something that is already inside of MemberClicks. So like forms, other articles, any of the community features. We're just going to highlight that text, come to the bottom of the editor this time, to site links. And then we're going to choose any of the items that we want to link to. So for example, we could link to the event calendar. We have any of our forms, menu items, files. I'm going to go ahead and link to the event calendar, and we'll insert. Now to look extra fit, well, before I continue moving forward, any questions on how to add external or internal links, or did those processes make sense?
Just a quick question, Adrian. I noticed that the URL is still SMOTS. We were going to change that to just Templars so that there's nothing confusing about the URL with other Templar themed organizations. Is that, well, what needs to happen for that to show up?
Yeah, Raven and I actually just had that conversation in the beginning. Now that I'm in the office, and I'm going to have my team do it for me. So I'm glad that she mentioned, and then we couldn't remember exactly what we had decided we're going to change it to. So
Yeah,
I'll follow
just
up with them today.
Templars plural, TEMPLARS. Yeah.
You got it. Yep, I'll make sure that that happens today. It might take a couple of days for that to reflect, and once it does, if you guys try to get into the back end of the site, remember that your admin site will change from that SMOTS.memberclicks.net to templars.memberclicks.net/administrators. So the link that you're accessing the site will change. It'll be basically updated to the new acronym as well.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
All right, so to look extra fancy, after you've added in an external or internal link, if you want to impress all your team, you can just highlight anything that's linked up. We're going to come to the top of our page and use those formatted fonts again, and by choosing heading 6, it's going to create this awesome button. So it looks super fancy, but really easy to do. Some of my other favorite items in here is the undo button. We have a spell check. If you want to use the spell check, you actually have to highlight the text that you're wanting to use it for, and then select that spell check icon, and that'll let you know anything that is misspelled. If you guys are fluent in HTML, we have an HTML editor that you can type, you can write in as well. And that's really about it for creating these articles. Now, a lot of the items, a lot of these additional items, like icons that you see, have to do with tables. I would really recommend leaving tables out of your articles. The reason why is because tables are not responsive. So your whole site will look really great on a cell phone until somebody gets to a page with a table on it, and then all of a sudden you've lost that functionality. You're having to kind of like scroll, just a little bit messy. So I would really stay away from adding tables and then therefore using any of the icons listed.
Okay.
Okay. Once our article has been created, we're happy with the way it looks. We want to set that group access, so that determines who gets to see this. Of course, if this is members only, prospect and public don't get to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to save. So at this point, we've created our members only article. Now, just because we've created the article doesn't mean that anybody can access it yet. It's not linked to the front end of the site, and if it's not linked to the front end of the site, nobody can get to this article. So the next thing that we'll need to do is link this to our menu items. So to do that, I'm just going to work on the website tab, go to menu items. Now we have 3 different menu items. We have the main menu. The main menu is reflected up at the very top of the website. So that home is the area where the main menu will be located. The member menu is part of the social community, so we're going to look at that once again on our social community training. And then lastly, the quick links. It acts the same as the main menu, but the quick links, of course, is over here on the right-hand corner. So for our example's sake, I'm going to go ahead and add a main menu item. So in order to do that, I'm just selecting main menu. Now, right now, we only have the home menu item. So if we want to create a new menu item, same icon as when we built that article, right? We just want to select the plus sign for new. Now we need to determine what type of item we're linking up to. And so we might be linking up to a database item. If you want somebody to be able to click the menu item and take them directly to their profile, you would want to select My Profile. In our case, we just created an article, so we want to link directly to a single article. This is going to be the most common item that you use. Some of these other things just contain like your event calendar, a direct link to the event calendar, forums, polls, any forms. And then you can link directly to external links, forgot your password. So we're going to go ahead and select a single article. Once again, that's going to be the most common option that you'll be choosing. Now, I like to start, I feel like if you look at this page as a whole, it looks kind of complicated, but if you start from the top left-hand corner, work your way down the first row on the left, then start back up at the top on the right-hand column and work your way down, I feel like it's a little bit more manageable. So to do that, we're just going to start by creating the title. We already named it members only, the article members only, so we can call the actual menu item the same thing. So this is how what the button's going to read on the front end of your website. We already talked about this alias and how that creates the full URL for this specific page. If we wanted this item to show up at the top of your main menu, we're going to select top. If we wanted it to be a sub-menu of home, we would just highlight home. I want this to be another main menu item, so I'm going to highlight top. We're going to set that group access, and then lastly, we can choose an article. So we've told the system that we're linking to a single article, but now we need to tell it which one. So when you click that button, where are we being navigated to? I'm going to use that select, and we're going to choose members only. And at this point, we can save. So this is going to show us kind of the outline of what our menu structure is going to look like on the front end. If I refresh our page, now we have that members only main menu tab. I can select this. And it brings us to that example content that we created together. Any questions on this processes?
No.
Was that a lot, or did it feel manageable?
It's one of those things where, you know, you have to get in there yourself and do it to get it. So yeah, it's fine.
Absolutely. You'll have this, I'll make sure that I send this to you, and then you'll have some resources as well that'll help you walk through this, but you're totally right. It's something you're just going to have to do a few times, and then it'll be second nature. It won't be hard at all, but it does take a couple times to get used to the process.
Adrienne, also, I know we talked about that second phone call recording, and that I might not need it, but do you happen to still have it? That recording?
I do. I'm going to send it to you. Yeah, I just need to make sure. I've got to hunt that one down, but I'll definitely send that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Make a note to myself. Okay. Now, believe it or not, that is all that we needed to go over today. So I know that last piece felt like a lot, but that kind of sums up everything. Managing the content on the front end of the site is really, really easy. Any questions, or did that feel comfortable? Kind of, that might be like a comfortable, like a manageable amount of information today.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I do have a question, Adrienne. So when do you think we can actually, if we stay on track like we are, I mean, when can we actually send this, send the information out to our members if it's time for them to log in or whatever, or to create, whatever they're doing? How soon can we do that?